So, hey, other selves. Welcome to whatever this is. Hey, Mark. Hey, Annika. Hey, Annika. Hey, Mom. Hey, Aryan. Nice. Hey, Britta. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Gabby. Beautiful. Beautiful. Aryans, we were just together in Guatemala. And now I'm still here in Europe, on the other side of the planet. That's so exciting. That's really beautiful. Beautiful. We have Ibiza in the house. Awesome. And I see more and more people dropping in as well. Thank you so much, Danielle. I'm sensing that you are beautiful too, although I can't see you right now. Hey, Karen, welcome. Yeah, I see more and more people dropping in as well. We actually have 23 people in the house right now. So those of you who are dropping in, feel free to share in the chat how you're feeling right now and what calls you to be here today. So what is it that is bringing you here in this present moment? A lot of people were filling in these couple of questions beforehand. What calls you to be a part of this virtual Vibe Tribe Hangout? So I just want to read some of the things that you guys shared in the pre-live gathering questionnaire, which is like a 2-question, very short one. What calls you to be a part of this virtual tribe hangout? Community and spiritual upliftment. I have tapped into this energy and I'm open to expansion, connection, and a whole bunch of bliss and transcendence in order to share light. You shine, I see you. I'm grateful for your reflections of strength and beauty. So now I'm reading lots of different answers from different people. Loving the silence of deep connection, a desire to have less noise around. This feels exactly like what I need right now. Thank you. I want to share this feeling of freedom with you all, and very curious how we get there together. Well, actually, we are there, yes. Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. The love in me, I know you know this. Big hug, beautiful you. I love to be a part of such an extensive worldwide group meditation, especially one hosted by you. You have such a wonderful energy that must work out great. Well, we'll find out. Maybe the internet explodes. I haven't been reading the names here, keeping you guys anonymous, but maybe I should say the names so far. Mark, Karen, Justina, Tamara, Emmeline, Danielle, Marusia. May says what calls her is connecting more and only with my highest potential, so the divine universe can take my life over. Anything else you want to share? I love you. I love you too, May. Thank you so much. Manu says, forgetting who I am and mindfulness is a new concept. Feeling the vibe, and you are a truly wonderful person for sharing so much with seekers or human explorers. Thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure. And she says, I have shared so a couple of my friends could join in and absorb the Ronia vibe. It's not my vibe. It's just this, you know. But thank you. Arne says, your message resonates, and I would like to share a moment remembering and forgetting who I am and who we are. Beautiful. And he says, love you and love life. Fuck yes. Nice. Martin says, connecting to the collective consciousness with others during meditation. Anything else you want to share? Love, love, love. Nalan says, just curious and just before I leave Melbourne Monday morning, so maybe it's a good departure ritual. Yes, Nalan, if you're in the house, and say hello. Laura says, everything you do until now is good. Nice, and I love meditating together with others. I organize such evenings myself as well. There's a lot happening in myself again since I signed up for the Abundant Passionpreneur program, which is a new thing we have just launched. It sometimes feels like a lot to deal with when I'm alone, but I am strong. It's okay. Just wanted to share it. Can't wait. Wow, a lot of shares. Dean says what calls him to be here is freedom and love. Fred says, interesting. Alexa says, just yes, I feel you, and yes to oneness and juiciness in feminine emotion and power. Thank you. Thank me as you. I are one, so thank all that is. Beautiful. Aryan says, what calls you to be a part of this virtual vibe hangout is my highest excitement. Yes, yes, yes. Love to see you and connect, tuning into the awesomeness of vibe. Yes, this is where the party is at. Maria says, taking a moment of meditation for myself and being in connection with others doing this. Thank you for great spontaneous invites. Michelle says, I resonate so deeply with this. It feels like a call home. I'm beyond words grateful for your expression, offering your journey to the virtual world with such raw authenticity, love, grace, and beauty. Thank you. It has been a sweet beacon for me, reminders, initiation again and again in so many ways. And then Martha says, connect to the place of deep connection. I have been there a few times, but lost the feeling with it as well again. I know it will come back as it is always there, but it always helps to hang out with others to feel it again. Annabelle says what calls her here is love, and what she wants to share is love. Lucia Nicola says, sharing presence, support, and love. We're getting towards the end now. Anya says, such a beautiful transmission, love. Thank you. Oh, I feel very inspired to join. Let's see whether I will still be awake. Thank you so much from Bali. Yeah, it's coming up to, what is it now? Midnight, I think. Or 1 a.m. in Bali. It's 10 a.m., 10:14 a.m. here in Guatemala. And Linda says, oh, she's writing in Dutch. Let me see if I can translate. I'm curious how you find the combination between manifestation and self-realization. Freedom is ultimately what my heart can follow every moment. And manifestation feels like it's always coming from a lack place or wanting something else. And so I'm asking myself, and I'm asking, if there's the possibility of choosing something else or choosing a new possibility, because every time I get brought back to what what hasn't yet been seen and integrated, like fear, lack, etc. Isn't real freedom to be able to see from infinity without wanting to interfere? That's a great question. Let's see what we explore here today. Beautiful. Thank you. And as it says, I feel deep connection. Curiosity brings me here. Oh, you are. Thank you. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Esther. Hi, Annika. Again, gut feeling brought me here today. Yeah, gut feeling brings me everywhere. Annika says, I feel attracted to creating in the moment something that doesn't exist yet. Love coming to places where there is no reference for it yet. Sieve, my mom, says, I simply agree with all of you and I want to be a part of this magic and love across the planet. Yes! Well, you're the creator of it, love. Thank you. Kim says, kitty hug for you. 3 universal love is my... Sorry, not 3. Facebook hearts. Universal love is my drive. Beautiful. Okay, sweet. So let me just remove this message there. Okay. It's getting a little bit too warm now. Okay. So if you're not comfortable already, then get comfortable. If you can see this. Make sure that you are comfortable. Make sure that you have some kind of hydration, water, or anything else you need. And I want to guide us just a little bit in the beginning as we're dropping into this space. And so to begin, let's allow our body vessels, our body temples to relax a bit more in here. So moving your body, if you feel any tightness anywhere in your body, then stretching that out. Moving that out. Personally, right now I feel some tension in my shoulders. So if you feel that, then you can massage that out a little bit. Just easing out wherever you feel any tension in your body. And then rolling your shoulders a few times with a lot of awareness, really feeling this sliding action happening in your shoulder joint and socket. Amazing how our bodies are put together. And if you happen to have no arms, then just imagine your wings doing this circulating motion and doing this rotation. And then allow your chest to relax open, shoulder blades dripping down towards the ground. Feeling yourself rested here in the center. And then with your next breath in, sweeping your arms to the sides and all the way up towards the sky. And if you can see, grabbing one wrist with the other hand and stretching up. And then the hand that is grabbing, lean over towards that side. So that you can really stretch out here. And if you're, right now I'm on a chair, so I don't have much space next to me, but if you're sitting like on a couch, sofa, yoga mat, bed, then you can even place one hand down next to you and stretch open the other side. Oh, I have a table next to me I can place my hand on. Great. Just breathing into that side of your body that you're stretching out. Lengthening that side, opening the meridians in the body for a bit more energy to flow through. And a little bit deeper with next breath out. And then breathing in and coming back up to the center again. And then breathing out and lowering your arms down, closing your eyes if they're open. And noticing how your body has shifted now already. Any difference between the left and the right side, how your energy is flowing. And then with eyes closed or open, with your next breath in, sweeping your arms once again up towards the sky, grabbing with the other hand, inhaling and lengthening, and exhaling, leaning over to that side. And you can either stay like this, you can place your hand down if you have support next to you on that side, or just let that arm hang and lengthening out. So breathing in, so for me, I'm breathing into my right side right now. I'm leaning over towards the left and I'm breathing into my right side, creating more space in between the ribs and the hips. I'm really expanding into that side of the lung. Any part that feels tight, just stretching into that a little bit more. Great. One more deep breath here. Lengthen all the way from the hips to the fingertips. And go a bit deeper with the out breath. And then breathing in, coming back up again. Meeting with both hands. And then breathing out and brushing down your body. And coming to rest in the center here. And feel free to stay with your eyes closed or your eyes open. Whatever helps you to drop in the most. Allowing your awareness to be open and spacious and malleable and multidimensional. So whether you have your eyes closed or open, keep on allowing deep breaths. Allowing your body to expand with every breath in, relax with every breath out, sinking deeper down. Breathing through your nose, breathing through your mouth, doesn't matter. Whatever flows for you right now. And sometimes you can play with closing your eyes, opening your eyes, and seeing how this like sunset and sunrise of your vision, eyelids closing and opening, how that's a very gentle, very seamless change, transition, that your awareness remains open and undisturbed regardless. There's simply this. And your vision, in a way, with whether your eyes are open or closed, there is a vision, an energetic vision that spans the entire cosmos, the entire galaxy, the entirety of existence, touching the furthest reaches of the universe. Just gonna plug in my computer. Energy is infinite, but MacBooks need to be recharged. And knowing that this open awareness, this presence, this love that is gazing out through these holes here, into this hole right here, and the open, spacious awareness and love that is gazing out through your holes, your eyes, is the same one being. Just infinity meeting infinity through the interface of humanness and, in this case, computer and webcam. Before we can just all astral project and hang out together in this vibe. I'm so excited about this as we're entering into 4D reality. 5D as well. More and more then this becomes possible. For now, let's utilize the technology that we have to hang out in this way. And ask yourself in this moment, is there anything missing? Could there be anything missing from this? When you are tuned in as this, is there ever anything missing? Could there be any lack here? Could there ever be any lack anywhere? Because even if we seemingly lack food or anything else we need for survival and we die, then we'll just be this, but more fully. Without the costume in between. Just this. Looking at the humans. Oh, they're so cute. The humans. With all of the complications and stuff. They're like, look, you're living in paradise. Enjoy. You are infinity. Enjoy. Mark says, yes, it's already happening more and more at night. Yeah, exactly. I've also been experimenting with lucid dreaming lately, and it's really fun to see what's possible. My favorite thing is to go flying, which it would be cool if I could like show that on camera now, but no, I cannot. Well, maybe I can, but I don't. This human doesn't believe that she can fly yet, so she's not doing it. So lucid dreaming is a fun way to play and to train your system to what more is possible with this. Mark said, I had the exact same dream as my friend Christian last night. So that's beautiful, and that's an awesome sign. So what I feel moved to do right now is keep on being in this, keep on hanging out in this, and the invitation is also open if any one of you wants to come on and connect. Because the camera is like above there and I'm looking at the screen right there. It's kind of hard to eye gaze, but as close as possible to that. We can eye gaze or we can talk, or you can share or ask anything. But if you want to come on video, if you're in a Mac, you're gonna have like a built-in one, or if you're on your phone, there's probably gonna be like a camera thing built in on your phone. Whatever. You can raise your hand. I think it says next to the chat on the top, there should be like chat and then room or attendees. If you click there, then you should be able to request to speak. And I will get a notification, and then what happens is that I can invite you as a speaker, which is not as scary as it sounds. It's just like kind of like being on Skype. But you'll basically come on, and I think we can even do it with several people at the same time. I think we can have up to 10 people at the same time who are coming on, and we can share and connect in that way. And I would love to do that as well, because you can all see this human interface, but I would love to see you as well. And so if that excites you or if that scares you, then come on. And if you don't know how to do it, then you can let me know in the chat that you want to come on camera, come on video and connect, and I can invite you. And then you just need to click that you are joining a hangout or whatever it's called. Like you need to like say, yes, I agree, whatever. And then you can come on. Mark, I feel like you want to come on for sure. Maybe some more people. And until then, we can also just hang out in this. And at any point, if there's anything that arises for you that you want to share or ask, you can post that in the chat as well. See more and more people coming on. Beautiful. So, hey, Amber, Britta, Mark, Karen, Mina, Fritz, Daniel, Amanda, Leonor, Prigel, Esther, Fatima, Annika, Fred, Arjen, Murray, Kim, Annika, Marie, Tanya, Gabby, Siv, Renee, Janne, Gunther. Oh, Gunther's in the house. Awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, Anneke, I have invited you to come on. I saw you raise your hand, so you should just be able to follow the prompts and in a minute come on. Hey, Gunther. Nice. And allowing yourself more and more to fall into this, experience of this silence. Aware of the sounds, aware of everything that is happening, aware of the movement, the sensations, the feelings, and being as this stillness. Gabby says, I love sitting here and drinking in life with you all. So that is the invitation in a way to drink in life and to allow this. Marie says, I'm just staying with my eyes closed and vibrating with you all. Beautiful. Mark says, normally I absolutely enjoy talking, but now I absolutely enjoy sharing this infinite vastness with you all. Beautiful. So, what I'd be curious to see as an experiment as well is to, if you want to join the room, so to speak, and we'll just have a bunch of different people up here, or we can actually see each other. So, Mark, I would love to have you up here, for example, Gunther, Annika, Gabby, Kim, even my mom. If you want to just be here in silence, I feel like it can amplify the experience for all of us to have even more of an experience of this. And no pressure. But if you feel a bit scared, then maybe it's the right thing to do. Ariane, I'm inviting you to. Or not, doesn't really matter. It's just my personal longing to have like more people up here that I can see and connect with. And until then, and even then, we will just be in this. And if at any point there's anything you want to ask or share, feel free to drop it in. So Gabby, if you have access to a camera, then click on the little camera icon until it should be blue. Yes, I can hear you. Let's see. You can choose camera or microphone or both. Annika, no, I cannot see you. But okay, Gabby, you have a camera, so just turn the camera on, because right now you're like a black dude. Yes. Okay, I don't know. Can you other guys let me know in the chat if you can see Gabby? Right now for me it's just black, but maybe there's a delay. And this as well. Okay, Gabby, so if... yeah, it's black. She's embodying the black hole of the void. We're all just tuning into that. Okay. Gabby is the infinite void. She has reached the ultimate. Exactly, yeah. Beautiful. I love it. Love it. Yeah. It looks like your camera and your microphone are on, but it's not working. Okay, I'm going to just return you and see if Annika can come in. Let's see. Oh, if I just maximize you, no, still black. All right, girl, I'm gonna send you back. There. Okay, so with that, we learned that we are all the infinite void. I was just giving a coaching session that actually finished like 4 minutes before we came live here, so I was like, just going to the bathroom, coming back on. She was asking about my experience in the darkness retreat. And one of the experiences, the aspects that I loved the most about the darkness retreat was this feeling of dissolving into the void, dissolving into the blackness. Yay. Dissolving into the blackness and the feeling of just melting into everything, melting into the darkness. We did a lot of open eye meditation where you sit in the dark with open eyes and allow the darkness to seep in and to just permeate everything. To permeate everything. Dissolving, falling into the void. It's like the annihilation of the self, the annihilation of the separate self. Annihilation, I want to check with you guys, what does you guys know what the word annihilation means? Or what does that word mean to you? Complete annihilation of the self. Annihilation of the separate identity. What does annihilation mean to you? Maybe everybody's now like Googling a dictionary or something. Destruction, Marie says, yeah. Destruction, disappearance. Yeah, she was Googling destroying everything that is not real. Implosion, dissolving. The death of something. The death of, yeah. So annihilation, the correct definition of annihilation is the transformation of matter into radiant energy. So nothing ever disappears, it just transforms. Energy never goes away, it just changes frequency. So annihilation means the transformation of matter, what seems to be solid form, into radiant energy. Just pure energy and open space. So the annihilation of the self is that going from feeling like dense and locked in and separate and defined and limited into just being this. Like a slowly exploding star or a supernova. Or a black hole, if you will. The infinite blackness. This is a perfect example, actually, of annihilation. Yeah, Gunther says, love this definition because everything that is real cannot be annihilated. Yeah, actually nothing can be annihilated. It's just a transformation. This is annihilation. It's tripping. The transformation of matter into radiant energy. Mark is asking, is the experience in the darkness similar to the experience in the sensory deprivation tank? Yes, it is similar. So for those of you who they were like, what sensory tank? Sensory deprivation tank, aka flotation tank, is this like warm water pool experience where the water is the same temperature as the body, so you almost can't feel the body, or like you almost can't feel the water because it's the same temperature and the air is the same temperature, and so it's kind of blurs the boundaries, and the water is such that it's so salty that you float and you can actually fall asleep in this, and so it's the feeling of being weightless and just floating in this. And now, of course, in a darkness retreat, we are not floating in water tanks, although that would be cool. And maybe Trinfinity darkness retreats will have those kind of facilities where, oh, that would be cool. Where as a part of the darkness experience, you can also go into the flotation tanks. Awesome, let's create that. Okay, guys, let's create that darkness retreats where there are also sensory deprivation tanks. Because that would add something new to the darkness experience. And the darkness retreat and the experience of that is also, hold on, let me come back to you. The darkness retreat is such because usually in a sensory deprivation tank you go in there for 45 minutes, an hour, maybe more. In Spa Serene and Utrecht in the Netherlands there are flotation pools, but it's still like lights are happening where you can lay there for hours if you want to, and just it's a feeling of weightlessness still. But it's a shorter experience, usually max an hour, something like that. Whereas a darkness retreat is anything from a few days up to a few weeks or even months or even years. What happens when you are in darkness is that your brain chemistry, a few different things happen. your brain chemistry begins to change. So you shift from the mental frontal lobe of the neocortex into more of an intuitive, instinctive part of the brain. You stop using the eye distance coordination for navigating, and your extrasensory receptors, your extrasensory perception opens up. And so what I experienced in the dark was this feeling of like feeling the air around me, of navigating, knowing where the wall would be before hitting it. Actually didn't have any bumping into accidents or anything like that. All your other senses begin to open up, so you can choose if you want to fast or you can choose if you want to eat, and then all the flavors and the taste, everything becomes so much more intensified. Sounds. At one point in the darkness, there was like one person that I wanted to meet one of the days, like day 5, and I had this magnetic feeling like I wanted to connect. And then I was walking through the yoga shala, the blacked out hall where we were having this, and at some point I could just smell the air, and I was like, oh, I think this is where his spot is. And completely right on. I had no idea where in the space he was, and I had never been there, but I just sensed my way through. And so that's one thing that happens, that your brain perception coordination changes, how your body is operating. It was funny because the first evening when we came out after the dark, we were 7 days, which is pretty short, and all of us want to stay in. All of us were like, can we do another week? But when I came out, we came out at midnight with sunglasses on, because your eyes become so sensitive to light. Like this tiniest smudge of light becomes so strong. I was walking into my room to go to the bathroom at night, and for the first time I could see what it looked like. I could see the wall, I could see the door handle, the frame, and I opened the door and I walked straight head first into the wall, like into the corner of where the wall begins next to the door. My coordination was completely off, and I was like stumbling around like a toddler, like trying to find my feet because the eye perception is kind of off. So that's one thing that happens. Another thing that happens is that your sense of time begins to blend and blur and melt. And it's interesting. Dreaming is really interesting because it's dark. It's dark. There's no difference between this and this. It's completely blacked out. And Mark says I would probably go to live there. That sounds great. Nice. The awake state, waking dream, this dream, and sleeping dream begin to blend a lot. And it's interesting because you're in darkness and then you go to sleep, like you fall asleep and you start dreaming, and suddenly you see light. And in every dream I had, I was like, guys, we're supposed to be in the darkness retreat. What are you guys doing with the lights on? I was like trying to get everyone in the dream to black out the dream as well, which was interesting. And then at some point, my conscious and subconscious was bridged in such a way that I could know when I was dreaming, and then every dream I had was lucid. So I had the most amazing experiences of controlling the dream, of designing reality, of flying, of orchestrating, of hanging out, of co-creating, of like mastering stuff. It was a beautiful experience of lucid dreaming as well, which of course is a bridge into lucid living, realizing that we also affect the dream. Here. And now another really amazing experience, another really amazing aspect of this is, of course, which is what most people are in for the most part, is the DMT experience. Because DMT, I can never pronounce that thing, dimethyltryptamine, something, whatever. DMT, which most people know as a drug, that you can smoke DMT, and DMT is also the psychoactive, or one of the most psychoactive substances in ayahuasca. And DMT is related to altered states of consciousness and states of dream-like states, visions, colors. Astral journeys in different ways, accessing other planes of reality. DMT is produced every day in our brain by the pineal gland. And if you guys are still using toothpaste with fluoride, please stop. It shuts the pineal gland down. See if you can drink water that has been purified from fluoride so that you don't get that in. Fluoride is toxic, it's poisonous, and it shuts the pineal gland down, which is a part of the big scheme of keeping us under control, eh? And meditating on the pineal gland helps to open it. Certain foods help to decalcify the pineal gland. An ajna light, you can Google this stuff, an ajna light, as well as an omni brain, which is like a blindfold that you wear that flashes lights at different rates. That also decalcifies the pineal gland and opens it. And being in the darkness activates this. So what happens is that when you are in darkness all the time and there are no light impulses or stimuli coming in from the outside, in the beginning you'll notice when you're in the dark that there's a lot of light residue. It's like your eyes have accumulated light, in the same way as when you look at something really bright, say the sun or a strong light, and then you look away, you close your eyes, you can still see that. Right now I have behind here is a big open door window glass I can show you. So out here is the garden and the jacuzzi and the lake and the volcano on the other side. And when I look there, oops, really bright. When I look there, then I close my eyes and I can still see the outline of the window, the door behind. A similar process is happening where your eyes begin to release the residue of light that it's been picking up from all the, especially screens, computer screens. It's a big one. But then it really becomes dark. Then it really becomes black. And then it's black for some time. But then what happens is that after some time, and this might be after a couple of days already, for most people it happens somewhere between like 5 and 9 days in. For me, it was really from day 5 that it started happening really strongly, is that the DMT production in the brain, first of all, you produce a lot of melatonin, so you sleep a lot, and then you feel probably like more rested than you've ever felt in your entire life. And you begin to have these surges of energy through your body. I was experiencing a lot of very intense, energetic experiences and waves and orgasmic experiences, especially a few days in. And the DMT production goes through the roof. So what happens is that the visuals start getting really strong. And so after some days, it's like there's more light than darkness in the dark. There's like a continuous stream of fractals and colors and lights morphing. This happened for me mostly day 5, 6, 7, as well as the first about 3-4 days after I came out. And with that third eye opening, start to be able to see stuff in a different way, light bodies, energy bodies, seeing energy fields in a different way, see the way sound moves through the air. If you've had ayahuasca or DMT, then you know the experience, but this is different because it's many days. And if you stay in for a second or a third week, like Ryan was going to go in for 2 weeks and he stayed in for 3 weeks, then that of course intensifies even more. And it's sustained, it's ongoing. And so that's another aspect that is different from the sensory deprivation tanks, although you could have glimpses of it already in there. A lot of people are afraid of going into the darkness. because you're alone with the mind, right? The one that I was in was guided. So we had a lot of long stretches of silence, hours every day, but we also had a lot of guided meditations, and almost every day we had a sharing circle. And so there was this connection with the people. I didn't feel afraid before going in. I was more curious. Some people were afraid, but what happened for people was that every day people were expressing, I feel so grateful to be here. I'm experiencing so much love and so much opening into this. The darkness feels so friendly and so benevolent and so just like all encompassing. Because the darkness is just fully accepting everything without defining this or that or good or bad or ugly, beautiful, anything. It's just one. But it's true that a lot of people feel scared to go into the darkness, whether it's for a week or a month or an evening or an hour. Another kind of darkness is the silence of Vipassana or any other retreat, or just your own silent practice, going into what happens when you're in silence and no stimulation is happening, but you're just being. And what I've realized is that it's true that all our struggles and emotional and mental suffering comes down to a belief in lack, the illusion that lack can exist, and a belief in that. And I find that all fears are linked to that, and ultimately comes down to that all fears are fear of feeling. Afraid of our own emotions, afraid of our own experiences, afraid of our own feelings, our own inner world. Avoidance of, like, oh shit, if I really go there, then what would arise, what would come up? And so one of the aspects of being in the dark is the willingness to feel everything. And it's a feeling of nowhere to hide, nowhere to go, just completely being in the full fire of whatever is going on. But then realizing that you are not the fire, you are that which holds the space that in which the fire is burning. And so moving into and through that fire and realizing that the flames cannot harm you, and that you are able to hold a space for everything that arises, kind of makes you feel kind of invincible, because if you're not afraid of feeling your fear, if you're not afraid of feeling your sadness, if you're not afraid of feeling your joy and your pleasure, if you're not afraid of feeling even the madness of the mind, without pulling away and going into I'm not that, I'm only this, but just being this as it happens, then nothing can really faze you. Nothing can really set you off balance. And even if you are set off balance, then this openness remains even as chaos is happening. Embracing it all as the one. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Are there any questions at all? Any sharings? It's interesting though, because it's like from this place problems can't really exist, or if they do, then they can't really hook in anywhere. And then there are these places in our human lives where we go into contraction, where it's like, oh, I lost it. Where we get thrown off center and into a part of the personality that kind of hijacks the experience and the situation and our experience of this. And yet, even as that is happening, this openness remains untouched. That truly doesn't go anywhere. It's interesting to investigate though, like what are those places where we contract? Because it's easy when we're hanging out together here, right? Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Can you prioritize this? It's about the feeling, not the form. And beyond the feeling, it is about the experiencer of the feeling. Because in terms of manifestation, it's true that whatever we desire, it always comes back to a feeling. We desire something, a partner, sex, a car, a job, a trip somewhere, whatever, because it's the experience we're wanting. It's the feeling, it's not the thing. It's the feeling, not the form. But then if we're always chasing a feeling, then we are also at mercy of our emotions and identified with them. Seems like, if I can generalize, in men there can be more of a tendency of, oh, I'm not my emotions, pulling away, but it's like a nice comfortable hideout place. And for women in general, can be more a feeling of being completely consumed with the emotion and feeling like I am this and I am feeling too vulnerable today to get anything done, and this is owning my experience. But then what is the balance? The openness happens when there is this openness always, and then sometimes there is openness and sadness, sometimes there is openness and joy, sometimes there is openness and peace, sometimes there is openness and contraction, sometimes there's openness and insecurity and not knowing where to go next, sometimes just complete laser clarity and a feeling of invincibility. Resting is that which never changes and allowing all of the changes to happen within this space. And allowing for the human experience, allowing for this, because we are not here by accident or by mistake. It's not like infinity intended for us to just be infinity and then like, oops, made humans as an accident. No, we are here to live as that, but also as humans and integrating this full experience, moving into life playfully, or meditating in a cave playfully, whatever that is that calls you, whether your dharma and your calling is to just realize this and then rest as that, not do anything else, or make $1 million or 10 or 100, create music or anything else. What I feel as well that is coming through really clearly is that once this is lived, then creation becomes very joyful and very easy, very effortless. And then the question becomes, okay, so how can we open into this? How can we enjoy this together? How can we remind each other? How can we wake each other up to more of ourselves? Which is what we're all doing. Very simple. Max says, I listened to Creon, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, yesterday, and he shared that the bias of God is to love. I believe love is the key. I would love for you to say more about this because I have a sense of what you mean, but not that. What does it mean, the bias of God? That's like the tendency of God? Gary says, feels like falling in love with my human self. Yes, 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 yes. And when you fall in love with your human self, you align your perspective with the perspective of life itself. Because if life itself didn't have complete love for the human self, then we wouldn't be here. Again, we're not here by mistake. I'm curious if there is an edge we can explore here. Because we can have this experience of meditating together for an hour and a bit. That's the answer, actually. Okay, so the tendency of God is to love. We can have this beautiful experience together, which is amazing. I'm not diminishing that. I can feel you all around the world in this. Here by this beautiful volcano. I was sitting under the stars yesterday in the jacuzzi out there under the stars, and first there was this intense thunderstorm and rain, just like sweeping through everything. And then at some point there, I fell asleep in the jacuzzi, and then I woke up and it was completely clear, and the almost full moon was shining, and the stars, and there was like this snake of clouds wrapped around the volcano, stretching across the lake. This feeling of being very close to the elements, feeling the stillness and the movement of the planets, and the silence of the volcano, and simultaneously that connecting all the way down into the center of the earth, the liquid hot center that is floating and just pulsating heartbeat. Still don't understand any of this, really. But yeah, so we can have an experience of meditating together like this. The question is how can we actually live this? You know, when we hang up in 1 minute or in 10 or whatever, however long we stay together, or longer, who knows? Then where do you go from there? You know, how do you move into your life from this place? And this is not confined to being still. You can be in full-on movement, running, dancing, sex, conversation, and still experience this. It is not defined by circumstance or engagement in activity or not. In the moments when we notice the light dimming and the contracting back into, can we remember this and being like, oh yeah, there it is again. And what happens when we create from this space? What becomes possible? Because then we are tapped into the infinite information bank of inspiration in spirit itself. Enthusiasm and theos being infused with God and theos. So creating from inspiration and from enthusiasm, allowing the divine to flow through, allowing consciousness to live as you, which is what we are doing here. So I want to share that if you feel like going deeper into this meeting of infinite awareness, that which is beyond, allowing that to infuse the human experience and the body into ecstasy and bliss and openness, sadness, whatever arises in connection with other humans in music, in nature, in paradise, then the invitation is to, there are a bunch of different things that are possible. The one that I feel the most excited about extending is the ecstatic awakening retreat that a bunch of you who are here have already been to. And I know a bunch of you who are here are already signed up to come. The next ones that we have are in Spain in the beginning of August, the 3rd through the 10th of August in the Hidden Paradise in the mountains in southern Spain, with view 360 degrees into just vast openness. And on this mountaintop, we're going to have this epic retreat with music, DJs, music producers coming in from all over the world. You can see all the details. Read more about it if it calls you. The full lineup of DJs, which is pretty insane. Like, it's kind of surreal, but not really, because we're in flow, so this is kind of bound to happen. And you can choose if you want to come just for those 8 days, or if you want to come for the Vibe Tribe Hangout, the foreplay and afterglow experience, 2 days before and 2 days after, so a total of 12 days to be and immerse yourself in this, which everybody says is a completely life-changing experience. And the next one after that we have is the 29th of November until the 6th of December on Hawaii, which is not open for registration yet, but will be soon. And the darkness retreat that we have shared a lot about today, the one that I went to is in Delhi in India, led by Shashi Soluna and Kobe. And that one, I don't know the link for it. The Ecstatic Awakening Retreat, if you want to check that out. Just grab that quickly here. Is this. And if you feel called to the darkness retreat, then just ask me and I can direct you. And there are also darkness facilities here in Guatemala, like around this lake. There are a couple of the 2 different spaces where you can do a solitary darkness retreat. And I wanted to do one here, but they're booked until like, one had an opening in June and one in September. And then I'm going to Mexico next to co-facilitate the women's retreat with Leila Martin, that some of you might know of. One of my dearest friends and epic human being. And the place where Bentinho and Allison and Ryan did their darkness retreat is in Mantak Chia's Dao Garden in Thailand, which is also really amazing. That I haven't done personally, but I have a lot of friends who have done it, and it's beautiful. So you can Google that, or you can ask me. Although I'm getting crazy amounts of messages, I might not actually be able to. Okay, this is the link to the Korean recording. So there's one thing that I do feel moved to do before we close, and I would love to close with just a few minutes in silence together. I feel is really important. Not important, nothing is important. I take that back. Amazing, like noticing what the voice says and stuff. It's like, what do you mean important? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, I would love to. Just my personal desire is to end in silence together. But I would love to show this for you. This is just like a minute and 50 seconds. We've been getting some new video experiences from people who attended the Ecstatic Awakening retreat in Bali in January. And they are so beautiful. And most of them are just like under a minute long. So you can find them on my YouTube channel, or no, at ecstaticawakeningretreat.com you can actually watch this. But there's one video that for some reason I feel called to share with you now, which is by our dear brother Michael Parisi. I don't know if he's here now live with us, but he's one of the most amazing human beings I have ever met, and he attended the retreat, and the way he shares is like just beyond words. But I feel like his experience really encapsulates the essence of the Ecstatic Awakening retreat, which is so impossible to put into words, but I feel like you can feel him in this. So it's just a very short video, but I would love for you to just tune into this, and either as an invitation for the retreat or just as a transmission, because this guy is tapped in. Okay, so I'm gonna load it and I'll see you in less than 2 minutes.
Always going. So this experience for me is absolutely indescribable. The most consistent stream of epic experiences I've ever had in a concentrated container like this. I'm changed for life from this 7-day excursion and journey with these beautiful people in a safe container where you're able to just fall into yourself, fall into vulnerability, and fall into truth embodied with a group of people who are supporting you to be who you are and to just unleash anything that has been holding you back. I am forever grateful for this experience, and I will carry it with me within the cells of my being, carrying it forward to serve through and to benefit others through. And if you have any inspiration whatsoever, any excitement to do this, I absolutely, with every bit of my heart and soul, recommend you come to this retreat, because I can promise you that it will be one of the most amazing, deepening, integrative experiences of your entire life, and only leading forward into more and more and more amazing goodness for you and for all that are blessed by your presence. Always going. So this experience for me is absolutely indescribable. The most consistent stream of epic experiences.
Yeah, beautiful, huh? It's like when I was sitting with Jeff and Lisa, a couple of the co-facilitators for the retreat, in a chicken bus in Guatemala on my laptop watching this, and we were all like crying. It's just like so beautiful, and we have so many of these. And so you can watch the other ones at Ecstatic Awakening Retreat. vibe.com. So yeah, I know some of you are coming already, which is beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And it's beautiful as well because it feels to me like the old school style of spirituality. Old school, but when I started on this path, which was when I was 17, I went really deep into all of this with meditation and tantra and women's work and emotional release work and breath work and body work, massage, women's work, Taoist stuff. It felt like there was a lot of trauma healing happening. A lot of trauma healing happening, a lot of inner child work, a lot of people who were like primal scream workshops and just releasing everything and loving your inner child and setting up healthy boundaries and saying no to your inner critic and lots of stuff. I still love the emotional release part because I find that actually expressing and allowing that energy to move is profoundly helpful for sometimes especially people who are deeply rested as awareness to actually, wow, fucking allow the energy to move through your system and move through your body. It's so beautiful. And so it feels like for some years there was a lot of focus on like this happened in my childhood and therefore I feel like this and so now I need to have therapy. And now it feels like a lot of people have done enough work and enough openness and enough expanding and dropping that now we can actually celebrate. And 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 there can still be room for everything because it's not about getting to happiness and holding on to it, but allowing everything. Personally, I would much rather be alive than happy. Because when we are alive and connected and there is a certain bliss to all of the emotions, when sadness is experienced with openness, then there is an inherent bliss there. So I'd rather be just fully open to the rawness of everything without restriction or resistance than to try to hold on to bliss. If you ever try to hold on to bliss, then you know that's the fastest way to kill it. Not kill it, not kill bliss, because you can't, but cut your experience off from that vastness. So that is what I feel with the ecstatic awakening retreat as well, is that it's not so much I need to go here to fix something, but more like, hey, it seems like this is a place where like all the coolest people are hanging out, and like the people you meet there become lifelong friends, and people falling in love and meeting and collaborating and starting business venture. It's like taking on a life of its own. And that's where I just step back and give thanks, because it feels like I'm not doing any of it. I mean, I am on a personal level, but it's creating the space where people can meet and, in a way, like giving a nudge to the law of attraction and how we all resonate and come together and celebrate, and people can cry and heal and open and feel everything in, and there is this feeling of everything being carried in this space of celebration and the recognition that life is a miracle and so beautiful to be on this journey together where we can celebrate and connect. And that is what I feel so ecstatically excited and grateful and quiet and in awe of to be a part of. I want to check in with you because I see a lot of people still here. I want to check in with you how you're feeling right now. Feeling, what are you experiencing? What is your experience of you, this, right now? So in a word or a sentence or whatever, or a sound. In a word or a sentence, share in the chat how you're feeling in this moment or what you're experiencing in this moment. Mark says, I feel so much love for all of it. Gabby says, quiet. Just very okay with myself and everything that moves in me. Beautiful. Amanda says, connection. Esther, inner peace and abundance. And Esther, I'm curious which Esther it is because I know a whole bunch of Esthers. Amanda, I know who you are. And then a lot of silent people because I can see there's a lot more people on, but maybe you don't have fingers to type with. Esther van Leeuwen from the Netherlands. Okay, beautiful. Nice, thank you. Yeah. Jessica says alive and whole. Yeah. And from this space, can there be anything missing? Can there be anything lacking? Obviously, no. And yet we can enjoy meditation and massage and mango and the natural MDMA that kind of comes as a side effect of feeling this openly. It's like everything feels like lovemaking, whether it's in rapture and movement or in stillness and just this. Max says, thank you for doing this, Ronnie. I went way better than our live stream. Yeah, so this software is better than Facebook Live for shizzle. And there's much more we can do here. Definitely. The funny thing is, like, I can see myself perfectly clearly, but I'm also aware that I'm on Guatemalan Wi-Fi. And so for all I know, I could have been looking like a pixelated monster the whole way through. So thank you for staying with it. Yeah, my pleasure. Leonard's is pure and inspired. I like that, pure and inspired. Okay, my loves. So let's sit together. Feeling this, feeling each other, points of light all around the world. It's the beauty of this. Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Mom. Mom, you should use Chrome instead. Amanda says, thank you, Ronja. Please do this again. Yeah, sure. Maybe we can take a poll. Do you want me to do this again? If so, I can. And would this be valuable for you? I probably will. I don't know when. You'll be notified, I guess, or something. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I take that as a yes. Yeah, I would love to do this again and to have more of you also come on actually to share on video because it's kind of cool. You know, we have the technology, so why not? Thank you, Britta. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna just release my awareness from the chat for a moment. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. Okay, so dropping in. Mark says, next time I'll share. Marie says, feels like family here, let's do this again. Jessica says, yes, thank you, Ronja, for this guidance. Mark, love to all you wonderful souls. Jessica, 2 bodies, 1 consciousness. 2 bodies, 1 being. 2 bodies, 1 heart. What a magical moment. Yeah. See you somewhere in the world, but also yes, love to do this again. We'll see. This is kind of long now, but maybe like who knows, weekly, daily, whatever, whenever I feel like it, whenever you request it. If there's any day you're feeling a bit out of yourself into your small self, a bit contracted, or just like, hey, today I would love to spend some time like this, then send me a message, and maybe that day we can do this, depending on which mountain I'm hanging out on. I'm gonna go outside, have some breakfast, continue the launch of the Abundant Passionpreneur, which is like such a beautiful coming together of this into like full-on action. Which is like some of the most exciting creation I've ever been a part of creating. If you're curious about that, and if you want to, it's kind of for women only, but whatever, you can check that out here. Super, 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 super beautiful. Really exciting. Leonardo says, thank you so much for this infinite space. Yeah, this is what we are, right? Hanging out in this. With these bodies that can have hair and tattoos and piercings and stuff. Connecting like this. Beautiful. Okay, my loves. Love you all so much. I feel you so strongly. Feel you so strongly. So thank you for co-creating this. One being, one heart, one soul, one light, one life, one this. Have a beautiful, wonderful day, night, morning, evening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.